It's a beautiful day. Gorgeous day to be outside. It's actually probably about 50 degrees or so. We got it cranked up to about 80 degrees inside there. The furnace is going. We got those 2 diesel heaters going. We got masks on. He's painting. So far, things are going pretty good. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna get this thing primed today, and then, yeah, paint next week. Well, no, not weeks. Later this week. That's what I'm trying to say. Primer coat's done on the frame and a couple other pieces. We still got to do the cab and the hood. We're not done fabbing inside there. That's why we didn't prime those right now. So we'll get to that eventually. Had just enough primer. Got another gallon coming. Dad had to take off to go to city, so he picked up another gallon for us. We'll be good there, but it's 80 some degrees in there. It's perfect. Humidity's a little high. Whatever. Let it sit. Let it cure. Then we'll yeah, white paint. Oh yeah. Lots of it. We're back. Day 2. Looks pretty good overall. I mean, it's just a primer. You can definitely see imperfections more now, but that's what happens. Actually, that turned out pretty good. That's the seam right there. The old tanks. There's a transition to the new step. A little bit of high spot right there. Probably should have sanded that down some more. All right. Getting the shop nice and hot. Got heaters going. Throw our masks on and suits, and let's get some paint. Oh man, I need a suntan. Where's that sun at? Whew. We're good. I think we're good. Most of the runs took care of. We got like 3 coats on it. Let it harden. Let's get the heat in there, shut the doors, go take the rest of the day off. Are you guys ready to see this thing? Let's walk around it. Look at that shine. Day 2 after being sprayed. A couple imperfections we've spotted here and there. One thing we've noticed is I think they used a lot of Bondo in some of their seams back in the day that Bud might have used because the sandblaster blasted that Bondo out, the little pit holes and everything, and we didn't refill them, not really realizing they were there until it's sprayed with white, and then you can see them. But honestly, overall, I mean, you can't even hardly tell there was a seam there. I don't know if you guys can even spot it. The light just right. I mean, we added on that much. And right here, this was added on as well, so there should be a seam there. You can see it on this side, because we didn't grind that down and clean it up, but look at that side. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? That's not bad. Now to show you guys the stuff we don't want you to see. This is stuff you're not gonna be able to see because the tires are gonna be on it, but is all that stuff. See, that's what I'm talking about, little holes like that. That was us though. So everywhere we widened on the inside, we didn't bother cleaning this up because, well, why would you? It's covered by giant wheels. As long as it's together and strong, that's what matters. But this side matters. There's a few of these little things. So what we might do is find some little putty or some type of filler. I'm sure they make like a little, well, basically Bondo, but that we can just kind of squish into these holes, wipe it off, and then maybe just lightly hit it with some white, and that'll clean that up. But I mean, this isn't a show tractor, it's gonna be a work tractor, and man, it looks good. So let's keep going. I think the next step is we're gonna put some tires on it. They probably won't come off. This might be it. And then we can whirl this thing out and get the black paint going in this shop. That's all you want it.
There you go. And now we're gonna have to rotate it again. Other way. There you go. And stop. Back just a tiny bit. There you go.
There. 3 out of the 4 tires are on. Obviously we don't have all the nuts on yet. That's something we'll do later, but we got enough to hold them together. So we just got this one to do. It's sitting right there outside this door, so I'll open this door, we'll put it on the floor jack, and we'll maneuver it on over. Get that one in, and then we gotta make a decision whether we leave the tractor here or push it outside, go wash all the components that gotta be primed and painted black, and then paint them here probably. So we will see, but this thing's gonna be probably, never will those tires be off. I guess, at least for the foreseeable future. Let's open this door up. All right, they got this stand off. That one we're waiting on, so I'm gonna see if I can lift this up enough. How much we got on this thing? Quite a bit. Oh, starting to see a gap. There we go. Now it's free. Okay. And there we go. 20-ton jacks. So far, so good. As you can see, we've got some more painting to do, but that was planned. We knew there'd be areas where we were lifting or suspending, had the tractor rested on that would need primer and paint again, but that's okay. We can touch that up. We gotta get ready for spring seeding. Its forecast just shows warmer for the extended future, so we could probably start seeding even right now. And we're thinking we just need to get to it, because that's the bread and butter of this operation. So I think we're gonna pull this rig out. We're gonna put it outside for a bit, maybe get in the other building once we get some equipment moved around. And things might be on hold for just a little bit while we get the spring farm work knocked out. We might be able to jump back and do a couple things here and there depending on what's happened, whether weather stops us from seeding, or if we have enough guys, we can keep equipment running in the field, and maybe Leg Arms and I can break off and come back here. We'll see how it goes. But with all that said, small pause. But hang with us. It's gonna be fun either way. Field work's always fun too. And then we'll get back to that absolute monster, beautiful thing, whatever that is. All right, now that we officially switched gears, we got the old 9370 rolling, big Cam 3, about 450 horsepower. She smokes, it makes a cloud. It's actually kind of fun to see up there because it hangs on the top of the shop. We're getting air built up in that girl, boy, thing. Leg Arms checking the oil on Big Brute. Brought this just in case, because you guys know what our battery situation's like. Slightly better than Millennial Farmers. Just slightly. What's that? Okay, we actually ran this not long ago because we changed the injectors on the KTA 525. Okay, we're gonna put some battery jumpers on it. like we need a little air in that tire. We're good at the truck. Let's drive this thing out of here. All right. There's another Series 2. Let's fire her up.
One of the batteries is not good, so we'll have to put a jump pack on it. Man, I'll tell you, batteries do not last like they used to. It's amazing how many batteries we go through. Well, the Big Brute's always given us problems for whatever reason. It just drains the batteries. Even though we have a disconnect on it, there's something about it. We go through batteries like nobody's business on that. Well, the new injectors, it should start fairly well. There we go. Let's make sure he doesn't hit anything. He should be good. All right, let's put this jump pack on another battery. Man, we're just on a very good luck with batteries. Wow. These jump packs are amazing. Amazing what they can do. Absolutely something. The problem with these batteries is you really need to shake them up. Well, they sit all winter and they settle. Really not great on batteries, but that's a lot of batteries to take out and try to shake them up. And yeah, I don't know. Even when you do that, it feels like the batteries don't last like they should. Pretty soon, these buds are gonna have a friend. But their friend's gonna be a big brother, big sister, I don't know. 700 horsepower. That'll be enough, I hope. That 600 is good power. I mean, we really don't need, for what we do, we really don't need any more power than that. And honestly, that motor in there is a little weak, so I don't think it's pushing 600. I think it's more like 550 because it's got hours on it, but it still runs great. So, yeah. I think he's dealing with air pressure. It's not building up air pressure right now for him to release the parking brake. I mean, that engine sounds good. It sounds really good for the amount of hours that are on it. Take the 600 Big Bud, run it over to our Quonset. What I mean by the Quonset, it's a location over here with all of our bins, and we've always called it the Quonset. I don't know why. I mean, there is a Quonset building there, so maybe that's why we call it that. But Nick's taking the 600, he'll run it over there. We'll hook onto one of the air drills and bring it over here to the yard, and then once we're done with that, we'll make some room in the shop, and we'll take that 5 1/4 Big Bud and put it in there, because we gotta change some seals in that divider box, they're leaking, and then also put the driveline back on because I took it off.
gonna bring the Series 2 525. I guess there's another Series 2 in here now. All right, well, do we even call this a Series 2? I don't even know. But we're gonna roll this back as far as we can get. Maybe still keep the car hoist open, and then bring the 525 in here. And we're gonna change out seals that I changed out, but it turns out the seals that I changed out with weren't really good for dust. So we got new seals that are way better for dust on that transfer or the chain case divider box. So, yep.
See, Nick, I'm using the yank and rope.
Oh. Already?
Yeah.
It's not even stuck yet. We don't want to scratch the paint, so. Oh, it's rolling. Not under its own power, but it's rolling. And we got a yank and rope in the front too for some reason. Let's yeah, I don't think I'm gonna stop this thing. He's trying to turn it. Doesn't like to turn very much though. That's a sweet adapter for skid steers quick detach. Maywest Manufacturing sells them. A guy local, a kid, started making them, and you're good, keep going. Just a hood. Anyways, we've been using them a lot. It's awesome for stuff like this. I mean, that's enough room. That'll work. We can just leave it right there and call it good. We got some goodies in here too. Some nice gauge goodies. So that's gonna go in the cab. But this will give us enough room to bring that other tractor in here, and then we can get those seals changed out on it. Plus go through it too. Might as well just grease it all, clean filters, do everything we need to do while it's in the shop. It's always nice when it's in here.
Ah, that should be tall enough. I hope.
Lager, I'm just starting to change the seals out in the divider box. We checked the chain, it's a little loose, but it looks good. And we're gonna count the teeth on the sprockets and just see how they compare to the new bud. While he's doing that, I brought the welder over. I'm gonna build up the drawbar. Look how much wear has happened over the years on that. And it's really smooth. We do use drawbar savers or nylon plates, but we are thinking about getting one of those bushing, what do you call it, pindles or hitch on the front of the air carts. They're like 500 bucks each, but you bolt them on your air cart, and then there's a spherical bushing here instead. And that way, as your cart moves and tips and twists and turns, it turns on that bushing and not wear on your drawbar. So that's something we should probably invest in. But for now, I'm gonna build this up with some weld, turn the heat way down, so I don't do a lot of crystallizing. I just gotta get mass on there. That's all I'm trying to do. Build up metal and grind it down, flatten it out, and then that way, that'll be better. And then at some point, we'll take this drawbar off, do the same we did to the other one, and drill this out and make this a 2-inch pin instead of an 1 3/4 inch. Also, real quick, just notice a couple things, difference between this bud and the other one. So they're a year different, and there's probably 50 or 60 buds in between or more. So first thing, take a look at this weld here. See, it's solid all the way down, okay? And then down here, you look, see this big plate? There's an inch plate welded to the frame, and then the horizontal inch plates that build the center hinge. Don't look at him, ignore him. So if we go over here on the 77, which is a little older, notice they didn't continuously weld that all the way down. They did intermittent welding. And then two, I don't like this. I wish I would have seen this earlier. See how they welded that? They like just kind of put it up against the frame and filled it in with weld. I see why they changed that in the 78 model. So we didn't really see that until, well, literally I was just comparing the two now. Is it a bad thing? Well, this tractor's 77, so it's old. And it did some heavy, deep ripping work in California. And there's no cracks anywhere on any of this. So as much as I want to fix it, Leg Arms is like, why do we need to fix it? Because it's never had a problem. So clearly, it's sufficient, even though we're adding a little bit more ponies to this thing. But I guess we'll just keep an eye on it. So anyways, let's get to welding. Well, I think I built it up a good 3/8 or almost ½ inch in some of these areas. Just crisscross, I don't know, every kind of pattern you can imagine, just trying to get fill in there. So now I'm gonna go get the big angle grinder and we're just gonna level that off. Throw some rattle can paint on it. We're good. I went ahead and just polished down some of the real sharp edges on here. But that's, you can see how much I built up. So that'll last a long time. We'll put that poly plate in there too. Or we'll get those different hitches for our air drills. But yeah, that's a lot better than it was. A lot better. So like I just went through and changed all the seals on this divider box with the higher quality dust seals, because the ones we had in there weren't good enough. So that should stop the leaks. Checked all the drive shaft, the yokes, tighten the chain up just a little bit. 3/4 inch play is what they want from in and out. So you put a measure tape and you measure that. Might be just a hair tight, but and then I, after being drained, am pumping 1540 engine oil in it. So they say engine oil is what you want in here. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll fill her up to that little fill port right there. Interesting, while we had all the drive shafts off, we were able to count the teeth on the lower and upper sprockets for the chain. Just to see, out of curiosity, is it the same as Monster Bud, which is hanging out over there? And no, it's not. The top sprocket's the same. Was it 24 teeth? Is that right?
Yeah, 24.
24, but the bottom on Monster Bud, which will be KTTA 700, is 35 teeth. This one's 39. This has a bigger sprocket on the bottom, and the cover's bigger on this side, which means this tractor, its ratio gears it down even more. So ideally, we'd bracket like that sprocket in that tractor, because that tractor then would go a little slower, which would give that second gear a little bit more range, I guess you could say. But I don't think it's gonna fit. We measured, and I don't think that sprocket will fit through the cover door on that one. So we're just gonna find out what happens. But if the day comes, we might try to swap it, but it is not a fun job. You basically got to undo the seals, yokes off, take the chain off, undo that cover, and then pull it all out. And well, we're not gonna do that because seating's like a week away, so. Nope. All right, let's put this drive shaft back on right here. Check the transmission fluid, it's good. Throwout bearing's greased. All this will be greased. And then just clean up some stuff and get this thing in the field.